Around 6:30 in the morning, 6:37, we had a number of calls actually coming in, reporting a fire in Ocean Spa Plaza. There was a little bit of confusion at first on the actual floor number. Eventually we sussed it out that it was on the 14th floor. Immediately our 3 appliances, which is part of our response to a high-rise fire or a fire of this type, was instigated. So 3 appliances were turned out, and upon arrival the incident commander on scene instigated again the high-rise procedures, which means sending people up to the fire floor to investigate and then to establish what we determine is a bridgehead, which is like a kind of forward control from where the scene of operations now is managed.
And this also involved the evacuation of the building's residents, so can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes. Normally, buildings of this nature are have a stay put policy in place, but on arrival we found that residents were already being evacuated by RGP, who got here slightly before us, and everyone was eventually sent to the Sanborn, who thankfully facilitated the hotel to accommodate the residents whilst the incident was ongoing.
And in terms of the flats, the flat or flats affected, were those occupied? And you've said there were no casualties. Have there been any injuries?
No injuries reported at the time of the incident. As far as I'm aware, no injuries subsequent to that. There were 2 residents in the flat in question at the time of the fire, but they were also evacuated just before our arrival.
And is there any idea of what might have caused the fire?
We determined that it's linked to the air conditioning unit situated in the balcony, and that was where the main focus of our operations were at the time of arrival.
And in terms of that, is there any sort of advice that you can give regarding people who might have air conditioning units or might be concerned about it now? Is it a question of checking the electrics?
Exactly, it's a question of checking your electrics, having regular maintenance to all electrical installations, ensuring that fire alarms work, and basically be savvy in terms of balcony furniture and not leaving any unnecessary materials lying around.
And in terms of the materials, obviously, post the Grenfell tragedy, one of the questions that's always asked is about the building materials involved. Is there any concern over the materials that caught fire in this fire?
No, not in this particular case, although spectacular as the images on social media doing the rounds look like. The fire was confined to the balcony area alone. Obviously, there is smoke travel into the premises and the properties, but that was quickly taken care of.
And also, again, in terms of it being a tall building, what issues are there with access? Was access an issue in this particular incident?
Yes, a building of this nature in its entirety will prove or pose challenges to us. In this particular case, we insist on having certain things in place for our own safety as well as the safety of the residents. It always is a challenge, but procedures are in place for us to be able to mitigate the impact of an incident of this nature.
And monitoring continues. I imagine the investigation continues. What can you tell us about what happens next?
Well, as far as the fire and rescue service is concerned, obviously our fire safety department is always available to assist in whatever queries may arise, as well as obviously should there be any criminality suspected, which in this case I can assure the public that there isn't. But in this particular instance, as far as the fire and rescue service is concerned, we handed over the property or the scene to the building management, and it's up to them now to put in place any remedial works which are being taken care of as we speak.